Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a try new makeup video. I have a good mix of drugstore and high-end today, some products you guys have been requesting. So I wanted to keep it rolling with this try new makeup just to get through some new products. I have the e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer, and I also have their Hydrating Camo Concealer. You guys were requesting spit it out. You guys were requesting that I review these. I was really mostly excited to try the Hydrating Camo Concealer. I also have the Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Matte. I tried this the other day. I have some thoughts. I'm going to try it again and we're going to see what we think. I also have their Stay Naked The Fix Powder. So this is their newest release in terms of powder. And then they also have the Stay Naked Threesome. What is that name? I am confused, but this is their, if I can get it open, this is like a highlight, blush, and bronzer duo. So I thought we would try this out. I have some thoughts about this as well. Also have the ColourPop Mint to Be palette. This is their newest, well, it was their newest palette until literally last night, because you know ColourPop likes to keep it moving. But this is a really cool color scheme, and I thought I could just do something different. I also have the new Tarte Surfer Curl mascara. If you could imagine how many times I tried to say that, let's not, okay? Surfer Curl. I feel like you want to say Surfer Girl, but it's Surfer Curl, which I digress. So then I also have this Lahti London highlighter. This is a dupe, I can tell already, from the, or for the Fenty Beauty Diamond Highlight. It gives you that wet look. This you can get at Ulta, so I want to try this out on the skin. I also have the Givenchy Tint Couture Everwear. I have a sample. I wanted to buy this a long time ago, and I think it was when all the foundations came out at the same time, and I got overloaded, and then I ended up skipping it, so I want to try that. And then I have these MAC Patten Paint Lip Lacquers. These are new too. So I just want to do a fun kind of minty green aqua look, try some new makeup, give you my thoughts. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe. There's a hair in my nostril. So I would love for you to subscribe, hit the thumbs up and the bell if you want to be notified of my videos. I do a ton of hauls, trying new makeup reviews, all of that. Let's go ahead and begin. So before we start off, I have to tell you what just happened to me. I should have kept it on camera, but honestly, I like had a moment of rage, and then I was like, okay, one of my goals for this year is to not let small things hinder my entire day. So I put on the e.l.f. primer. I already filmed that and everything. I went in to do my foundation, and I was like, oh, I'm going in with this shade, and it ended up being too light. So I thought, let me just open up the deeper shade to mix in, which is the sample right here. When I opened that up, it splattered onto my sweater that was white, and there was dark foundation all over my sweater. So I was like, I needed 10 minutes to just collect my thoughts and not have a freak out. I don't know if anybody else is like that. I saw Lester Lux or Katie talking about that, not letting just small things ruin your day, because I should have just been like, whatever, but I had a moment of just being like so frustrated that I had to change my shirt, go put that one in the wash, take off the foundation that was on my face, and restart the whole thing. It is what it is, but 2020 is already trying me in many different ways. I'm gonna start off with the e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer. I did moisturize my skin with the Juno & Co. Moonshine Cream. If you hear chomping in the background, my Pomeranian's eating some nuggets. Whenever she's eating, I am not mad about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this to my T-zone. I thought in this video I will update you guys, little life update. I'm not gonna dwell on stuff, but I really have been having kind of like a rough, I don't know, few months. It is what it is. Everybody has their issues, but we've had some more issues with my Pomeranian for the 80th time, and I think it's just one of those things where you have to get the medication right when you have a dog that's having seizures. And on top of having seizures, she has something called IBD, not IBS, but it's like extreme IBS essentially. So think of people that have like diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, blood in their stool, all of that. It's like 10 times in a dog or whatever. So when she gets bloody stools, or she won't eat, or she's throwing up, I can't get her to take her seizure medication, and in turn then she could have a seizure. That's the biggest struggle that we've been going through. So we got her seizures under control, and then she's eating chow right now, I'm sorry, but we got her seizures under control, And then one of the pills that she was taking was upsetting her stomach. So we said, let's wean her off that and just try to stay on phenobarb. If you don't know anything about it, phenobarbital is like the main drug that they do for seizures in pets. I'm not sure if it's the same for humans. So we did wean her off the other one, and then she started having seizures the 30th, New Year's Eve, the 31st, and then a couple days after. So she had 3 in a week. So we put her back on the medicine that was kind of upsetting her stomach, because really you don't have a choice. Like they can't seize. If they have seizures, more than 1 in a day, they're called clusters. That can be dangerous. Then you have to hospitalize. It's very expensive, very stressful. So we put her back on the medicine and everything seemed okay. We went to neuro, they did a recheck, and they said she looks good. Like, she has not progressed worse since her neuro check in October, which means they don't think it's a brain tumor. So if you don't care about this story, I'll just put a timestamp below, but I wanted to update everybody that's been asking me. So they don't think it's a brain tumor, which is good news. They think she had a stroke a year ago, 6 months ago, and that is causing the seizures. She is 14 years old. She's a small dog. So they think she had a stroke and that's what's causing it. So here is what this matte putty looks like. It's like a white, milky kind of texture. It's a lot more emollient than I would have thought. The original poreless putty from them is a little bit thicker. This one feels like it has a slip to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this, see if it helps with pores too. It has more of a slip than I thought. It almost feels like it's going to work for pore smoothing and mattifying. It's a thinner texture than the original, just a little bit, but it doesn't have a scent, which I appreciate. It does look like it just kind of softened and smoothed out my pores. So we're gonna have to see in terms of just how it keeps me matte throughout the day. I will leave a pinned comment down below. But I wanna go into the Givenchy Tint Couture Everwear Foundation. So this one says it's 24-hour wear, which is a huge thing for me. I can't deal with foundations that don't last, because to me, if it's breaking up after 3 hours, I'm just not gonna mess with it. So it says satin finish, full coverage. Those all sound like great things. So we're gonna go ahead and try this out. I have this sample card that has 4 different shades in it. As I said, the one is too light, so I went to mix a deeper one in and it splattered all over me. That was fun times. So I'm mixing Y200 and then like a tiny bit of, I think this is like let me look. Y400, which is way too dark for me. So I'm just gonna use a little bit. So I'm actually gonna mix this on the back of my hand. So this is the color that we end up getting, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start using a beauty blender. By the way, I did order the Tarte Blendiful, and a review will be coming. It's not gonna be here for a few more days, so otherwise I would have tried that today. So I'm just gonna blend this all over the skin. Coverage is great. Feels like a thin formula, which I do like. I tend to steer away from really like hydrating foundations because I feel like they really accentuate my pores, and the thinner, the less accentuation that I notice. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this down the neck. This looks really nice. I do see what they're saying, a satin, but I don't feel like it's really dewy. It could also be because of that e.l.f. primer. This looks real good and smooth. I mean, usually before I set, I feel like my texture looks really enhanced, especially right in here. And it looks, I mean, this looks good. Wow. So this is what my skin is looking like. I have to say, this, upon first impression, I like the way this looks on my skin. I feel like it looks smooth. I haven't even set it yet, which usually I can't tell until I set it. It looks smooth. The coverage is beautiful. This feels like one that's gonna hang on, whereas like the Maybelline one I tried, I felt like it was just gonna slide. This looks pretty good. Let me zoom you in. So next I wanna go in with this new e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. It says it's a satin finish. I got the shade Light Sand. I ordered this off of the Target website. So I guess we could just try that much. I'm not sure what the coverage is gonna be like. I know the original has a great coverage. I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out. So I actually liked the original I know some people thought it was really dry, so I am happy to see that they came out with a hydrating version. I mean, you really can't beat e.l.f. pricing. So it's looking pretty good. It feels a little bit more hydrating than the original, but I'm not like, it doesn't feel super intense hydrating. Like, to me, the Pretty Vulgar is pretty hydrating. The Giorgio Armani Power Fabric, like a thinner formula. This one feels a little bit more whipped. Definitely more hydrating than the original e.l.f. Camo, but it's not like slipping and sliding. So this is the concealer all blended out. My first impression is good. I feel like if you wanted to try the original but you thought it might be dry, this one has definitely more hydration. I don't know if I feel like the coverage might be a little bit less, but it's nothing crazy. I feel like I'm getting a good medium coverage. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it, and I wanna see how the T-zone works. So for my T-zone, I'm gonna use Pound Cake from Huda Beauty. I'm still kind of playing with this again. And then for maybe like I don't know. I wanna use this, but I'm afraid to use this under the eyes because if it doesn't work, it's gonna ruin like the whole look. So maybe I'll just use the Huda Beauty right here under my eyes, and then I'll try the Urban Decay on my forehead and my chin and like my jaw. So to set the rest of my T-zone, I'm gonna use this Stay Naked The Fix 30NN. This is Urban Decay. This looks pretty light, which is why I only want to use it in the T-zone, but this is their pressed powder. Some pressed powders that I really love are the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush. I love the J-Cat Beauty Aqua Insurance. What is another one? Is it Insurance? Did I just say Insurance? Aqua Assurance. Oh, okay, this is light, which is, I pretty much knew. That's one thing. It's hard to find. Oh, is that too light? Hold on. Hold, please. Might be a little bit too light. I think I went in a little heavy. Whew. Oh, I also like the Makeup Forever. What is the one? Velvet Finish Mattifying, the one that everybody loves, the powder foundation. I like to use that as a setting. I'm gonna take a little bit of this and just use it. It's too light for me because I feel like I'm getting ghostly vibes here. So I'm just gonna use it right in the center here. I don't really notice like a smoothing, but I don't notice it's heavy either. I don't know, the shade might be throwing me off. I just feel like it's too light and it's giving me kind of like a cast. So we'll have to try that again. I need to get a different shade because that one's just too light for me. I'm actually gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury No. 2 Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder to set the rest of my face. I just actually hit pan on my No. 1, which I use for under my eyes in this powder, and then I dropped it and it shattered. There wasn't much left anyways, but it really was truly a heartbreaking moment for me. So I just repurchased off Sephora. I like to have both 1 and 2 in my collection. This is a beautiful powder. If you don't want to splurge, a second option for me would be the J-Cat Aqua Assurance. So here's what the skin looks like. I have to say it looks nice and smooth. I like the way it feels. It feels like it's going to set down and hang around for a while. Let me know down below if you've tried this foundation because I know it's not like brand new. I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows off camera and then we're gonna zoom in and start on the eyes. All right, so my brows are on. I wanna go in with the ColourPop Mint to Be palette. This is their newest of the monochromatic, although I think I saw that they just released 2 more. I literally can't keep up. I think I want to start off, I'm trying to think. I want to go in with this shade. So I've zoomed you all the way in and I'm going to go ahead and really just use this all over the crease. I just got a text from my husband that someone hacked his bank account. So that's fun times. And Nala's just having a heyday walking through makeup boxes on the floor. You guys, I've been going through it. Is anybody else's start to 2020 kind of rough? But here's the thing, I'm not gonna let it define my year and I'm not gonna say like, oh my gosh, my year's ruined. It is what it is. I've had a trying like week and it'll be fine. So it always seems to all happen at once, just really stressful things. But I'm not gonna like let it get me down. I'm just trying to have a more positive outlook. So this shade's really nice and pigmented, which I mean, I'm not surprised. So I'm actually going to pull this out just a little bit. Just kind of make sure that I'm blending out. It has glitter in it in the pan, but you don't see it on the eye. I'm not the biggest fan of those kind of shades that have glitter in it. I don't really understand the point of it, like the matte with the glitter, because you can't see it once you blend. So to me, when I see those type of shades, they're really just matte. So I'm actually gonna go into this shade right here to add a little bit of depth. Kind of interested to see how this shade applies on the eye, because it looks kind of like a green grayish color. So it just deepens it a little bit. I don't know if I want to use a ton of that. I'm gonna keep it on the outer edge, and then I'm gonna use that first brush to really blend everything. I'm also gonna take this blue shade that we used on the crease onto the lid, like so. It kind of looks lighter there, but it could be because I blended that second shade on. So I'm gonna go into this shade right here, and I just want to apply a little bit, like very lightly. I don't want to get too high. I just want to kind of keep it right in there. But this is a pretty simple look. So I wasn't really going to, but I think I am going to go into this shade right here. And I want to use this to deepen up the outer corner just a little bit. So I just want to use it a little bit out here. This is more of a green shade. Okay, so I feel like my eyeshadow is pretty good on top. I might tweak it a little bit, but it's very simple. This is very Mimi Drew Carey-esque. I'm gonna go in with liner. I just got a brand new liner pen from Artists of Makeup. This is my favorite liner pen. I also like the M Cosmetics brush tip, but this is like my holy grail. These last forever. Like I would say 6 months, they don't dry out. It's a pain because you have to order them from a website. You can't get them from Sephora, but I'm telling you, I've gone through multiples of these. Mine was getting dry, so I bought another one. Took like 5 days to get to me, and I'm just excited to have a fresh one. So I'm gonna do a pretty big wing. I'm not gonna talk while I do it. Okay, so I did my wings and I curled my lashes. My favorite lash curler is the Laura Mercier. I'd heard a bunch about the Surratt and I got it, but I actually still prefer the Laura Mercier. I don't know what it is, but it just makes my lashes more curled than any other lash curler. So I continually use that. I can link it for you. I'm sure you can get it at Sephora. So I have this Tarte Surfer Curl Mascara. This is their newest mascara. The wand reminds me of the IT Cosmetics Superhero, which I do enjoy. So before we do put lashes on, I am going to apply this and see what I think. I am trying to mix it up and not do lashes every single time. So my last trying to makeup, I didn't do lashes, but today I am. So we are just going to, you know, play it by ear. Wow. Oh my God, my bulldog's snoring so loud. He must be really relaxed. Oh, this mascara looks pretty good, huh? Wow, do you see that? This mascara isn't bad. We're gonna have to keep playing around with it, but. So I'm gonna pop my lashes on off camera. I think these are Shade from Lashaholics. Sometimes I can't find the names. I wonder if that is the name. I believe it is. If not, I'll try to find them, but I get most of my lashes from Lashaholics. Flutter Lashes has great lashes, Lily Lashes Faux Mink, but I thought these looked really pretty, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop these on, and then we will move on to the face. So I went ahead and put my lashes on. I'm gonna work on the lower lash line, although I don't think I'm gonna do a ton. I think I'm gonna go into this shade down here, Ice Cold, and just use a little bit on the lower lash line. And then I'm gonna go into the deepest shade just to deepen up a tiny bit. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of this shade right here. I'm gonna mix it with this, but mostly the middle shade. And I just wanna use this on the inner corner. So now I wanna move into this Urban Decay palette. This is what it looks like. This is the Stay Naked Threesome in the colorway Naked. I'm gonna go into the bronzing part of this. I'm gonna use this to warm up the face. The one thing I will say is there was no deep complexion options for this, which I think is, I don't understand, like why all the colorways were like this bronzer color or similar for people that are like my skin tone or lighter. And I just feel like there should have absolutely been colorways for everybody. And I just don't understand that in this day and age. I think there was 3 colorways, maybe 4, but there should have been then 3 colorways for super deep skin. So I'm really kind of confused on that. So this is definitely a little bit of a warmer bronzer. It's actually blending really nicely. I'm using my Hakuhodo T4. I really love this brush. This is one of my favorites from Beautylish. So I'm just using this to really warm up my complexion. This does have, it looks like a little, it's like matte with a little bit of radiance. That doesn't make sense, but it's matte. It almost looks like it has a little bit of glitter in it, even though on the skin it's just looking a little bit radiant. So next I'm gonna go into the blush, which is a really pretty bright pink. That's why I chose this colorway. I think they sent out like a press release and you could choose your colorway. And I chose this one. Ooh, that's pigmented. Because I love like a pink blush. I do like that color though, wow. Take a little bit, just a little bit. So for highlighter, there is a highlighter in here I'm gonna try. It is pretty subtle. I mean, it almost kind of looks like it's gonna be, well, it looks pretty subtle. So we'll try it out. And then if it, you know, it's pretty subtle, we'll kind of give our thoughts and then we'll go in with the Lahti London to really amp it up. Okay, so it's definitely subtle, but I think a lot of people like that. Some people don't want, you know, a really intense highlight that looks like a metallic stripe on your face. Some people love it, some people don't. For every day, I'm not mad at this. So I do want to add this on top. This is the Lahti London, what is this called? Diamond Bounce Illuminating Highlighter. I mean, it really is a dupe for the Fenty Beauty. So I'm gonna use this to apply on top to really amp up the highlight, but this is definitely glittery. If you don't like glitter, stay away. Oh yeah, definitely amps it up. I'm using a really light hand because I don't want to go too crazy. The only thing about this highlight, and it's the same with the Fenty, is you get glitter fallout like all over your face. So just kind of be mindful of that. So I'm kind of applying it and then just like blending it in with my fingers. I think I'm even gonna kind of tie in a little bit right here on my inner corner just to make it pop. So for lips, I tend to really like a peachy lipstick with a kind of aqua eye. I'm gonna go in with this MAC Patten Paint Lip Lacquer in the shade Magic Mirror. I'm gonna line my lips first with the Melt Cosmetics Foxy. I love these lip liners. They're like one of my favorites. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with this lip color. This is Magic Mirror. From what I understand, these are very pigmented, kind of shiny lip. Oh, woo, okay. I'm gonna have to blend this in. Ooh, they smell good. I have another one here called Patent Pleasure. It has a little more pink to it. Yeah, I'm gonna try that just to kind of soften this up. So just apply a little bit and then. So the last thing I have to try is the new Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Matte. So I tried this the other day and there was white specks all over my face. The good news is they didn't stay. I could kind of press them in. But I've heard about that with, I think it was the Too Faced Peach Perfect Mattifying. And I don't really know what the difference is between this and the original all-nighter. Obviously this is mattifying, but the all-nighter really keeps my makeup on nicely. So I don't know if I would opt for this just because of the specs. We're gonna go ahead and say a prayer above and try it because I wanna try it for you guys. Okay, so I kind of held it back a little bit further because I didn't want the drops, but I almost feel like I didn't get much on my face. So let's try again. Okay, so I didn't get the drops this time. So maybe it was because my first time using it and the sprayer wasn't, you know, ready. Like, you know, when you sometimes you spray without doing a warning spray, it can come out splotchy. So maybe that was it because it looks fine now. The only thing is, I've seen other people do it, and sometimes, like, if I'm going to a wedding or something, I will like douse myself with the all-nighter, and I don't know if I would feel comfortable doing that with this just because of the white droplets that I experienced. But today I didn't experience it, so that's a good sign. All right, guys, so here is my finished makeup look. I would say today was a more successful trying new makeup. Our last one was kind of a hot mess. So I'm gonna go through the products and let you know my thoughts. Starting off with the e.l.f. primer. Of course, I won't know until the day goes on how it's gonna wear. Also, I did try a new foundation, so I'm gonna have to play around with this. I like the way this feels. It's thinner than the Poreless Putty original, and it feels like it has some pore smoothing benefits in it as well, which I do like. So you don't have to slather on multiple primers to get kind of that smoothness that you're looking for. So I did pick up the Luminous. I will try that in a video to come. I actually really like, first impression, this Givenchy foundation. It is fragrance. That's one thing I didn't note before. I noticed it after when I was blending my concealer, my sponge kind of smelled. So that's one thing I don't love, but a lot of high-end brands do that, unfortunately, and some of my favorite foundations do that. I'm like, why? But I do like the way this looks. It feels really nice on the skin. It's set down. It didn't enhance my texture. It was a very thin formula. So I want to keep using my samples up and possibly pick up a full size. We will have to see. In terms of the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, I think it's a good option if the original is too matte for you or you have really dry under eyes. I don't know if I think this is super hydrating. When I'm looking at it, it's still quite whipped. The most hydrating, as I said, for me has been the Pretty Vulgar or the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric, but they are thinner. They do settle into fine lines. So just keep that in mind. To me, this is a more satin finish, as it says. I mean, it does say Hydrating Camo Concealer, but it says satin finish, and I would agree. It's definitely not dewy like the Glossier. I have found that the most hydrating under eye concealers tend to not have a lot of coverage. This does have a good amount of coverage. I would say a medium buildable to full probably. So I do like it. I'll keep using it. Am I wowed? No, but honestly, I have a lot of concealers that I really like right now. So there's like 10 options for me. I don't know if this would like take the cake, but I do like it upon first impression. In terms of this Urban Decay powder, I'm really probably not a fan of this. I'm still gonna stick to my J-Cat or my Charlotte Tilbury. It's not bad. It could be that the shade is wrong for me, but I didn't find it particularly smoothing or to add a bunch of coverage. Those are the two things I'm looking for, really. This is just kind of so-so, but I actually really do enjoy this. I really like this. The blush is a beautiful shade. Of course, it's right up my alley. And I do like the bronzer. It blended beautifully. Even though there's a little bit of glitter, it looks like in there, it looks beautiful on the skin. Shade range, no go. They need to have more shades, deeper shades. That is my critique of that. In terms of the Tarte, what is it? Tarte C Surfer Curl mascara. This reminds me of the IT Cosmetics Superhero. I do like it. Of course, I did put falsies on today, but I do like it. I think it is nice first impression. I like it on my lower lash line because it's a thinner wand. So we'll keep playing around. This to me is mostly lengthening, which is great. I am getting more into mascara. In the past, I never really paid attention. So it didn't beat out my Givenchy Disturbia, but it's a good first impression. I will reach for this again. In terms of the ColourPop Mint to Be palette, it performs beautifully. There's no pressed glitters in here, which I do like. I think you're gonna be limited in your looks though. I feel like everybody that's been using this is kind of going with the same vibe. This is like a 1 or 2 shades on your lid and go kind of palette in my opinion. The shades are just very similar, hence the monochromatic vibe of this. But I do think it's pretty. There's nothing that I don't like about it. Am I gonna reach for it every day? No, but it's $12, so if you've been looking for some shades like this to add to your collection, the quality is really nice. In terms of these MAC, these are the Patten Paint Lip Lacquers. So they're really pigmented, kind of like on par with their lip glosses, but I will tell you, if you do not like thick, you will like these. These are thin, and I didn't, say that when I tried it on, but they are a very thin formula. They're not super high shine, maybe if you really slather them on, but I feel like they're so opaque that I wouldn't do that personally. But if you really like MAC colors, but you just can't stand the thickness, I would check into these. They're not whipped at all. They are, I don't know if you can see, very thin formula when you kind of just spread it out. They're pigmented. I wouldn't say they're full throttle pigment, but they are pigmented. So they're almost to a lipstick, but they stay shiny in terms of their pigment. They're almost to a lipstick pigment wise, but they stay shiny, like a gloss, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna play around with these some more. These are a little bit light for me. I thought I could really kind of like slather them on, but really they are quite light, but there are more shades in this range. And then lastly, the Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Matte. I'm going to again have to see how we're doing here. I have 2 matte products. So if I say matte all day, I'll know that it's one of them or both of them together. The white dots that I experienced the other day threw me off a little bit, but today I didn't experience them. So let me know down below if you've tried this. I really will probably just stick to the original all nighter because it works for me. So if I'm going to a concert or a wedding, I just like really spray it on, and I feel like I, mix that with a foundation that's long wearing, and I'm pretty much good to go. So I don't know if I see the difference really. Has Urban Decay come out with an all-nighter dewy? That would be interesting to see. I don't think they have, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to kind of do a test. Maybe one day I will do like half of my face with this and then half of my face with the original and see, what the difference is. But as long as my makeup stays on my face and doesn't break up, that's kind of what I look for in a setting spray. So I don't know. The white drops kind of detoured me a little bit, but I'll have to keep playing with it. So that is everything for this trying new makeup. I'm really happy to have had some products that I am excited to use again. Products that do stand out to me that I think could be a value to your collection. So I will keep using them, but this was a good trying new makeup day, and it's always a good day when that happens. So I would love for you guys to subscribe. Let me know if you've tried any of these products and your thoughts. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.